Hi guys, this is Sadik from Debugging.com, and in this video, we'll show you how to flash the latest crDroid ROM based on Android 15 onto your Poco F5. So please take a backup of all the data on your phone and then let's get started. First off, get hold of the Android SDK platform tools from my guide and extract them onto your PC. You may extract them anywhere you want. In my case, I've done the extraction in C drive, and as you could see, these are the files of platform tools. Once you have done the extraction, you will now have to enable USB debugging and OEM unlocking. Debugging is required for ADB command, whereas OEM unlocking is required to unlock the bootloader on your phone. So let's now enable both this toggle. For that, go to the settings menu on your phone, then go to about phone and tap on OS version 7 times. You will get a prompt that you are now a developer. Now go back, go to additional settings, and you should now see developer option. So go there and enable the toggle next to OEM unlocking as well as USB debugging. You will now get a prompt on your phone. Checkmark, I am aware of all the risk, and then wait for 10 seconds. Once the time frame has elapsed, just tap on OK. And with this debugging is enabled, you might get an RSA key prompt as well. In that prompt, again tap on OK. Let's now verify the debugging connection. So go to the address bar of platform tools, type in CMD and hit enter. This will launch command prompt inside platform tools. Now type in ADB devices and verify that you are getting an ID. If you're not getting any ID, then unplug and replug your phone from the PC. Disable and re-enable USB debugging. Tap on revoke USB debugging. Use the official USB cable that came with your phone and use the USB 2.0 port on your PC. So carry out these USB fixes and verify that you're getting an ID. Once you're getting this ID, your next course of action is to unlock the bootloader on your phone. Do note that unlocking will wipe off all the data and it might make the warranty null and void as well. If that's well and good, you could refer to a guide and the video and get this job done via the official Me Unlock tool. Once you have unlocked the bootloader, your phone will undergo a wipe and boot to the OS. So make sure to re-enable USB debugging once again. Once that is done, you may now get hold of the crDroid ROM, the GApps and the recovery file. So regarding the GApps, let me show you. There exists quite a few packages of GApps. These are the core GApps with the minimal number of Google apps. Then you have the basic GApps with slightly lengthier in size and with a more Google apps, then Omni GApps, Stock GApps, and finally the full GApps. Apart from that, you will also have a crDroid specific GApps packages from Nick GApps. So you may directly go to this link as well. And this Nick GApp package is just for the crDroid ROM itself, but it is somewhat lengthier in size, so it has quite a lot of Google app packages. As you could see over here, these are way too many. For some of you, this might be more than what is required. So in that case, you may download the core GApps from here, and for the rest of the users, they may simply get hold of this crDroid GApps as well. It's completely optional. If you want, you may skip the GApps as well, but if you want to flash, then you may either flash the crDroid GApps or even any one of these from here as well. All of them will work. Though it's recommended that you use either the Nick GApps or the crDroid GApps only. Once you have got the GApps and the ROM zip file, you will also have to get hold of the recovery. As of now, we have to use the Android 14 recovery file. So get hold from my guide. There are quite a few recovery files. You have to download this recovery. Let me show you the name of the recovery. It's TWRP Android 14. It's named something like this. So let me now show you. This is the recovery name ending with SKK. So make sure to use this recovery, although it's for Android 14, but it will work on Android 15 as well. So with that said, let's now move ahead with the flashing process. So now you will have to boot your phone to the Fastboot mode. For that, type in ADB reboot bootloader and hit enter. And your phone should now reboot into Fastboot mode in a few seconds. And once it's in the Fastboot mode, type in Fastboot devices and verify that you're getting an ID. If you're not getting any ID, then you'll have to install Fastboot drivers on your PC. So you may refer to a guide and the video and get this job done. Once you install the drivers, right click on the Windows icon and choose Device Manager. Then expand the Android phone section and verify that your phone is being shown here as Android bootloader interface. So this, as well as the serial ID next to Fastboot, signify that your PC is able to read the phone in Fastboot mode, and we are now good to go ahead. So let's now start off with the flashing process. In this regard, your first course of action is to flash the TWRP recovery onto your phone. So let's do so as well. The first step is to get hold of Android SDK platform tools, which we have already got. We are also done with the second step and third step as well. So now download the recovery IMG file from this link, the first link. And once you have got the recovery file, transfer the recovery file inside the platform tools directory. Moreover, for the ease of convenience, let's rename it to something shorter. So let's rename it to TWRP, and the complete name becomes TWRP.img. Once that is done, you will now have to boot your phone to Fastboot mode, which we have done already. And now we may start off with the flashing process of the recovery file. So you will have to flash the recovery across both the recovery A and B slot. So type in Fastboot flash recovery and then twrp.img file name. So first off, flash across the recovery A and then the recovery B. Or you may do one thing, use the recovery AB, and this will flash across both the A and B slot of the recovery at one go. So let's just wait for that to happen. And as you could see, the recovery has been flashed across both the A and B partition. First off, it flashed in the recovery A slot and then in the recovery B slot. Once the flashing is complete, you will now have to reboot to the newly flashed recovery. So type in Fastboot reboot recovery and hit enter. And your phone should now reboot into the recovery, which should take just a few seconds. So let's wait for that to happen and then we'll verify the result as well. So the flashing of the recovery is now done. Let's now get started with the flashing of the ROM file. So first and foremost, you will have to do a format data. For that, go to wipe format data, type in yes and hit the blue check mark. And the format data is now complete. Now you will have to do a reboot to recovery to remount the data partition. So go to reboot and choose recovery. This will mount the data partition of your phone, and then you could transfer the ROM file and the GApps file onto your phone. So your phone should now be visible here, as you could see. So let's now transfer both the files onto your phone. First off, let's transfer the ROM zip file. This is the ROM file. Transfer it onto your phone and it should take a few seconds. So let's just wait for that to happen. So this is our phone. Let's transfer it here. In some cases, it might happen that your phone might not be visible on your PC, or if your phone is visible, you might not be able to access the storage. So in that case, you may either use the USB OTG device. If you have, then in that case, go to mount, check mark, or tap on mount USB storage. Then go to install and select storage and choose the USB OTG. Or apart from that, you may also use the ADB push command to get this job done. I'll show you how to use the ADB push command as well. But please do not use the ADB sideload. Sideloading should only be used with an AOSP recovery such as the lineage OS recovery or crDroid recovery. Sideloading is not advised in case of TWRP or Orange Fox. In Orange Fox and TWRP, you should either use the USB mount or the ADB push command. So as of now, I have transferred the ROM file using the USB mount. Let me now show you how to transfer a file using the ADB push command. So for the sake of reference, let's transfer the GApps file inside the platform tools directory. Now let's rename it to something shorter. So let's rename it to GApps and the complete name becomes gapps.zip. Now open the CMD window and then type in ADB push file name, which is gapps.zip space / and SD card, which is the location on your phone. SD card here stands for internal storage. So the GApps will now be transferred onto your phone. So you may either use the ADB push command, or you may simply do the copy paste from your PC if the phone is visible on your PC. But that's it. We have now both the GApps and the ROM zip file. So first off, let's flash the ROM file. So choose the ROM and do a right swipe to flash it. The flashing will now start and it could take up to around 6 to 8 minutes. So let's just wait for that to happen. So guys, the flashing is now complete and you will get a few fail to mount partition error messages. That is completely normal and nothing to worry about. Just make sure that you are getting the successful message at the top. If that's well and good, you will now have to do a reboot to recovery. If you want to flash any other zip file, then do a reboot to recovery. This is only required for those users who want to do a reboot to recovery, who want to flash any other zip file. If you don't want to flash any other zip file, then you may skip this step. As of now, I want to flash a zip file. So now you may then go to the apply update, and from here you may do the side loading of the required zip file from the crDroid recovery. So select apply from ADB and then let's sideload the GApps file from here. So type in ADB sideload gapps.zip and the sideloading will now start. As you could see, the sideloading has started and it will take a few seconds depending on the file which you are using, the core GApps or the basic GApps or the Omni GApps. So depending on that, the flashing might take a little bit longer. In my case, the GApps package is somewhat larger in size, so it will take up to around a couple of minutes. So let's just wait for that to happen, and then we will proceed ahead with the next step. So guys, the flashing is now complete, and now your last course of action is to do a factory reset. So for those users who did not do a reboot to recovery, you might still be in the TWRP recovery. On the other hand, the users who have done a reboot to recovery, they will not be in the crDroid recovery. That is not a cause of concern. Your last step remains the same. You will have to do a format data. In case of TWRP, just go to wipe format data, type in yes and hit the blue check mark. And in case of crDroid recovery, you will have to go to factory reset, format data, factory reset, and format data, and the wipe is complete. So doing a format data at the last is compulsory. So do that, and once that is done, in TWRP, go to reboot and select system. In crDroid, tap on reboot system now, and your phone will now reboot to the OS. Do note that the first boot up will take up some additional time. That is completely normal and nothing to worry about. From the subsequent time, that will not be the case. With that said, let's just wait for the boot animation, or at least the boot logo to appear, either of which will signify that the flashing has been done successfully, and it could take only a few more seconds for them to appear. So let's keep a tab on that as well, and it should now be visible in a matter of few seconds, and then we will set up the ROM and have a look at the ROM features as well. As you could see, this is the crDroid boot animation. So the flashing has been done successfully, and let's now give it a few seconds for it to boot up, and the ROM booting is now complete as well. So let's now set up the ROM. So first off, let's skip the initial setup process. If you want, you may connect your phone to the Wi-Fi and link your Google account and do a restore of the data. As of now, I'm skipping all this just to speed up the process, and if you have not flashed any GApps, then you will not get this setup screen in the first place. So with that said, let me quickly skip the setup process, and now we are inside the crDroid Android 15 build. So there are a few GApps pre-installed because I flashed a GApps build, and then you have a game space and a Dolby Atmos, which is for the audio enhancer, and then BCR automatic call recording. I am seeing this app nowadays in every custom ROM. So guys, let's first have a look at the few of Android 15 specific features. So first off is the revamp settings menu. As you could see over here, this is the new settings menu. Then apart from that, you get the power menu in QoS styles, which is also present there. Then you have a partial screen recording. Let me verify that feature as well. Screen recording, so it's there as well. So choose a single app, then change the settings as per the requirement and tap on start recording. And then you may choose the required app of your choice, and the screen recording will only take place inside that app. If you move over to any other app or switch to any other app, the recording will pause and will only resume once you are back to the default app. After that, we have the predictive back gesture. So for that, I have to change the navigation bar layout to pill. So let me search for the navigation mode. So let's go here, 3-button navigation, and let's change to gesture navigation. And now let me have a look. So as you could see, the predictive back gesture is now working well and good. So then next up we have the volume panel. So let me show you the new volume panel. Long press on the back icon over here, and then you will get the new Android 15 volume panel as well. You may also add a new volume audio source over here by tapping on connect a device, or access the audio settings menu on your phone from this button as well. Then apart from that, next up we have the battery information. So let me have a look at that as well. So go to battery information page, and here you could see that you have the battery information, and most of the required information is there. So there is no longer any need to use a third-party app. Next up we have the private space. So let me have a look at that feature as well. For that, you have to access the privacy page, and from there go to private space, confirm your screen lock, and then you will have to set up the private space. So you may either use the same password that you have for the lock screen, or choose a new lock screen password just for the private space. So I'm choosing a new password for the private space. So first off, let's use my password which is there for the screen lock, and now I will apply a new password for the private space, which is this one. Again, let's confirm it, and it will now make a private space for our phone, which should take only a few seconds. So let's just wait. So the private space should now be made on our phone in a few seconds. And all set, tap on done and the private space is made. Let me first go to the home screen, and from here you may go to the app screen and you could see the private space at the bottom. Just tap on the locks icon and then type in your password and you could access the private space from here. Apart from that, you also have the option to hide this private space as well. So for that, you could even hide the private space from the app drawer. So for that, tap on the lock screen, then go to the settings menu of private space, and you may go to the hide private space and enable the toggle next to it. But as of now, this feature is missing in crDroid, this ROM version. I don't know why it's missing. It might be a bug. So when the issue is rectified, you will get a toggle here. You will just have to enable the toggle and then the private space will be gone from this app drawer as well. You could then only be able to access the private space by doing a search over here. So type in private space, and as you could see, currently it's not shown over here as well. So this is a kind of bug which will be ironed out in the next UI build. So with that said, apart from that, you could also enable taskbar. So for taskbar, it's generally in the home settings and I guess it's in the miscellaneous. So use taskbar, enable the toggle next to it and do a right swipe from up, and you could then access the taskbar. Give it a few seconds, and as you could see, the taskbar has been enabled. You could access these 5 apps or tap on the app drawer icon and you could access all the apps from here. Let me now, as you could see, these are all the present apps, and do a back and then taskbar is here. And again, you may bring up the taskbar by swiping from the downwards and hold for a few seconds. So I am generally not a fan of a taskbar, so I keep it turned off. If you want, you may keep it enabled. So these were the Android 15 specific features. Let me now show you the features which are a part of crDroid. So first off, let's go to the crDroid settings, and from here you may get hold of all the required tweaks. So we have the status bar icon. You may show and hide the required icons from here in the status bar. After that, you have the clock style, clock positioning, then date and clock. You may hide and show the clock date and time, then clock seconds. You may display the seconds as well. Add a background chip. As you could see, it's now added. Show and hide the AM PM style, and even add a date or rather a day, and change the positioning of the date and day as well. Then you may show and hide the network traffic monitor in the total data packets being exchanged in KB, MB or GB. So you may show the 4G icon instead of LTE, and that's just about it. Okay, one more thing, the color icon. So by default it will show as white icons. If you enable this toggle, then this icon will change to the same icon as shown in the app drawer, as you could see, for the Play Store and settings menu. Then you may also show the notification count, and it will now show a number next to the app icon in the app drawer, signifying total number of notifications being received. Then you also have the option to add a logo to the left or right, and these are the various logo. This is the BlackBerry, as you could see, it's now added. Likewise, we have a Windows, and there are quite a lot of options to choose from. Moving on, you could now change the battery style as well. This is the dotted circle, and these are the various battery style. And then you could show or hide the battery icon as well and display the battery bar. So currently it's full charge, so in full charge it will show as green, in low battery it's red, and when you are charging, the device is being charged, will show as yellow. You have the option to change the color as well from here. As of now, I like to keep it turned off. Then double tap to sleep on the status bar. It's working well and good. Then after that, we have the brightness control by sliding over the notification status bar. As you could see, it's also working quite well. Then quick pull down from the left or right. So let's do from the right. Again, let me try it out. So currently it's not working. I guess I might have to do a system UI restart. So now it's working. So you have to wait for a few seconds and then it will work. And next up, we have a few QS tweaks as well. You may add an header image, choose from a header image or static image, and then go through these are the various header image already there. Let's go with the X-Men and then browse it, and you may choose the required one from here. If you choose the X-Men, then let's say Black Widow, and give it a few seconds and it will now be added, as you could see. Likewise, you may choose any one of your choice. This is the Flash, and you may also add a custom image of your own from here if you want. Then next up, you may change the battery style in QS styles as well. So let's go with the Iconscape right, and let's have a look. As you could see at the top right, it's now changed. Then you may show or hide the battery percentage as well. change the background transparency, and let me now show you. As you could see, it's now transparent. And the brightness slider, you may show or hide, change its positioning, and give it a haptic feedback when you interact with them. Then you may change the style of the QS styles as well. This is the Android 11 style. Then show or hide the label and change the number of rows and columns of QS styles in each row. And then you may also add an animation. For example, if you now interact, and you could see it's going flipping across the x-axis. Likewise, you may show or hide the data usage, and clear all notification button should be added. So as you could see, the button is now there. Just tap on it, it will remove all the third-party app notification. Then you have the lock screen tweaks as well. The clock font style. crDroid is known to have the maximum number of clock styles. So let me show you this list. It's a never-ending list. You may choose from any one of this. So let's randomly assign any clock style and have a look. So brand lock, and let me see. So that, as you could see, it's now implemented, and when you remove all the notification, then the clock will come at the center. As of now, it's at the top left of the screen. Then apart from the clock font style, you could show or hide the carrier name and the battery info as well. Enable the weather option, but for that you have to keep the GPS and internet active at all times. Double tap on the lock screen to put the device to sleep. So let me have a look at this. Double tap and it's put to sleep. As of now, I cannot find the double tap to wake option. Let's see if it's there or not. Fingerprint animations are also there. Then you may also enable power menu from here. Then we have the navigation bar tweaks. If you are using a 3-button navigation, then you must change it to pixel animation style as well, and change the layout or invert the layout. The back and the recent will be changed their position, and then you may also add gestures to each of these buttons, but only when you are using a 3-button navigation. In case of a gesture pill, it might not work along the expected lines. Then for the buttons, you may take a partial screenshot and customize the power menu. Enable advanced restart. Let's have a look at the advanced restart, and you could restart to the recovery, Fastboot D, and the bootloader. So there is no system UI. In fact, in case of Fastboot D, it should have been a system UI, so it would have been much easier, because doing a restart to OS every time will take up quite a lot of time. So in most cases, a system UI is required, but that is not there. Then apart from that, you could assign the various tweaks to the power button as well. Answering call, ending call via the volume buttons. Then there are a few UI tweaks for the AOD as well. So wake screen for notification, always show date and time. This will lead to additional battery drainage as well. Then you may also enable edge lighting, and you will get the edges of the phone will light up as soon as when you get a notification. You may change the color of that light as well from here. And next up, we have the notification tweaks. First off, let me see the AOD. So as you could see, AOD is currently working. Although it's not as good as the one on OnePlus phone, it's quite basic, but will at least get the job done. Then you may add a force stop button as well in notification, but again, that will only work with third-party app notification and might not work with system apps. So this is the force stop button. Tap on it and it will force stop the app. Then apart from that, that's the basic tweaks for the notification. Then you get a few sound tweaks as well. You may change the volume steps for when you tap on the volume button each time. It will increase by 15 steps. You may increase or decrease the value as well. Let's keep it the default one only. Likewise, the same for the media calls and alarms. You may tweak each of them individually one by one as well. Then let's turn off the screenshot sound, and you may change the volume panel positioning from right to left. And there are a few other miscellaneous tweaks as well. Plain integrity spoof will help you to pass the plain integrity test. Only the basic and the device test will be passed. The strong test will not be passed. So let me show you what I mean by that. So just a minute. By default, the first two tests will be passed and the third test will be failing. If you want to pass the strong test as well, then you will need to use the unrevoked keybox XML file which you could get from my guide. You just have to drop an email over here in the comment section, and then I will give you the file as well. As you could see, I have already shared the file with over 800 users till now. So simply drop in your email ID and then I will share the file with you. Then in most cases, though, passing the strong is not required, and many banking apps will work with the device and basic as well. So with that said, you could also get unlimited Google photo storage by spoofing your phone to the Google Pixel XL, and then do a Netflix spoof. This will allow you to watch all the DRM content from Netflix, Amazon or Hulu in full HD as well. Then 3-finger swipe gesture, let's take a screenshot using that. That's working well and good as well, and it's about the crDroid. Next up, let's access a few other tweaks. Let's go to the wallpaper and style. So you may change the wallpaper from here, and the colors will change automatically based on the Material UI theming engine. These are the various wallpapers that you could choose from. Let's keep with the default one, and these are the various colors for the UI and UX changes. As you could see, the colors are being changed. Likewise, you may change the clock color and size from here as well. And in the home screen, you have the option to enable themed icons, and as you could see, they are enabled. You may also change the app grid size from here. By default, it's set to 5x5. So you might witness a few UI delays. That's completely normal and nothing to worry about. Whenever that happens, simply close the phone and then unlock it once again, and it will be fixed. So you may change the app grid size. The maximum is till 6x10, which is the most I have seen in any custom ROM. Then you may change the icon shapes in the status bar. Let's go with circular and apply it. Then you have the font style. These are the various fonts that you could choose from. So whatever font you choose will be applied across the entire UI and UX of the OS and across all the apps as well. So make your decision accordingly. Let's hit the apply button, and as you could see, the font change has taken place. Well, that's not quite great. Let me go with a simpler one. Then this is the icon shape. Let's apply Samsung and hit the apply button. And the icon shapes are now applied as well. Again, wait for a few seconds. And let's now have a look at the icon shape, and the change is taken place. So that's just about it. And now let me show you a few other tweaks from the home screen. So go to the home settings and icons. So you may choose a third-party icon style if you have from here. Enable or disable notification dots. Then in the home screen, you may lock the layout to a particular layout, the horizontal or vertical. Then you may enable the wallpaper tweaks as well. Double tap to sleep, and show or hide the status bar, the Google apps, and at a glance message the random messages. The Google search bar, in the search bar you may also show or hide that. If you turn it off, let me now show you. The Google search bar is gone. This gives a clean UI outlook. And then we have the app drawer. So in app drawer also, one great thing is that you can even enable the themed icons in the app drawer as well, apart from the home screen. In home screen we have already done so, but now even in the app drawer, well, it's quite weird to see that the Google Assistant has not been themed. It's one of the Google apps. They are even able to theme the third-party BCR app, but they are not able to theme the Assistant app. That's quite weird. It might just be a UI bug which could be rectified in the subsequent build. Then in the recent menu, you may add the option for Google Lens, screenshot, and clear all. As you could see, all the three options are now there. And there are a few miscellaneous tweaks regarding the taskbar which I have shown you already. And you may hide the apps which we have seen as well. And that's just about it. Once you have enabled any tweak from here, you may then try to do a system or rather the restart of the launcher, and then the changes will take place. And apart from that, these are just all the new tweaks. And let me access the about phone and the system are also now shifted upwards, and they are no longer at the bottom. This has happened in the stock as well as all the Android 15 based custom ROM. So as you could see, we are running the latest Android 15 build. So guys, on that note, we round up this video. If you have any queries with regard to any of the steps, do let me know in the comment section, and thanks a lot for watching.